All right, everyone. Josh Bitar and Alex Goldman back for FTS MMA. Today we are very luckily joined by the undisputed Hex Flyweight Women's Champion, none other than Lisa Kyriacou. Lisa, thank you so much for giving us some time this morning. How are things with you?
My absolute pleasure. Yeah, everything's going well. Just back to training and staying ready.
Awesome. Well, look, let's sort of talk about the monumental moment you had a little while ago, winning the Hex Flyweight Women's Championship. Can you sort of talk to me about the emotions and the feelings on achieving that? You know, because you've been around the sport for a while now, and you've had some massive fights. I was actually looking at your fight earlier with Jacinta. I don't know if you know this, but it actually has 430,000 views on YouTube, that fight, which is pretty incredible. But yeah, so you know, you've been in the game for such a long time. So what was that feeling like, achieving that goal and sort of winning the Hex Flyweight Women's title?
Winning that belt meant absolutely everything to me. Like, it kind of felt like my first fight again because I just, you know what I mean? I just wanted it so bad. I put so much work into that, and there was just no way I was not going to win. And I knew that after I won that something big is going to come after that. So getting that, like getting my hand raised, that was the only thing I wanted, and I got it, and it was the most amazing feeling ever.
I can imagine.
So super happy.
Yeah, for sure. So, look, Lisa, you know, we can see you repping the merch, but you fight out of Absolute MMA, you know, arguably one of the most well-known and prestigious, you know, gyms on the Australian mixed martial arts scene. While, you know, we could sit here and talk extensively about the credentials of the various coaches and athletes out of Absolute, I was wondering if you could speak to how the culture in the gym and on the mats sort of struck a chord with you, as it were, and, you know, made Absolute the perfect home for you.
So I just actually lost you for a second there.
No,
so
that's all right.
That?
Yep, no worries. So I was just saying, you know, while we could sit here and sort of talk extensively about, you know, the high quality coaching and athletes at Absolute, I was wondering if you could sort of talk about how the culture in the gym and on the mat sort of struck a chord with you and made Absolute the perfect home for you as a martial artist.
Yeah. So our gyms were massive. Like, we work together. The teamwork here is just incredible. Like, we just help each other so much in every way. When we've got a fight, like, we all just make sure that person gets that work, and we push each other so hard. It's just such a great team environment. We build each other up, and we've just got such a good relationship with each other. So it just shows, obviously, like, we're all winning our fights and doing amazing in that. So yeah, the teamwork just is definitely paying off, and we've got the best coaches here. And you can see, we're getting our wins. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Lisa, look, you're 6-1 now, and obviously, you know, with winning the Hex Women's Flyweight title does come, you know, with its rewards, you know, post and that sort of stuff. With, you know, you start getting involved in talks now with bigger organizations, bigger promotions. Obviously for you now, that's, I'd imagine, sort of where you're sort of heading in, you know, the near future. For you, have there been any talks with you and say other promotions as yet? And if so, how far have they advanced?
Yeah, look, like right now, like, we're trying to get on the contenders at least. So that would be my absolute dream right now, and I think I'm at that level to get that. But if that doesn't happen just yet, and I may need one other fight, it's going to definitely be on a bigger promotion overseas, I could imagine. Yep. So right now it's just up in the air, but yeah, so I'm hoping for contenders this year. If that doesn't happen, then I get that initial big fight, and then hopefully contenders or UFC after that. But definitely something big will be happening next for sure.
Yep.
So just staying ready for that.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So Lisa, look, it obviously seems inevitable that you'll be getting a call up from one of the larger, you know, organizations soon, you know, considering not only your own efforts in the sport, but also sort of this explosion of Australian MMA. Is a rematch with Jacinta, you know, something that you would want before that call up in order to maybe close that chapter? Or is that a fight, an opponent that you feel like you've moved past, you know, at this point in your career?
Look, she's actually gone down a weight division, so I don't even know if she would come back up to flyweight. But honestly, I'm quite done with the Australian scene. I think I'm ready to personally go, get onto the bigger promotions and fight overseas now, fight girls from other countries. So I think that's where I'd definitely be heading next.
Yeah, definitely. Lisa, look, you know, let's sort of talk about the UFC Flyweight Division. Obviously, there was a big shake up there at 125 with Valentina losing her title not too long ago against Alexa Grasso, and obviously there are some really fun matchups now that there's a new champion in the division. It creates a lot of more excitement, I believe. When you look I'd imagine you'd sort of look at that landscape at 125 in the UFC and sort of have your opponents, somewhere you'd eventually like to test your skills with. Is there anyone that right now stands out for you that you'd really love to test your skills with in the UFC?
It's a hard question. Look, I'm pretty confident in myself. I don't want to say like names or anything, but I think I could definitely test myself in there. So it'd definitely be like good tough fights, I could imagine, but I also think that I'm capable of doing very well in that division against a few of those girls.
Definitely.
I'll keep the names to myself.
Yeah, for sure. So, Lisa, I was wondering, have you noticed a boost in, female athletes training and competing, in martial arts here in Australia? And what do you think can be done to sort of, get more women, involved in training and competing in the sport? As, while we've seen some massive growth over the last few years, with things like Australian Girls and Gi, it's still a male-dominated industry. So what do you think can be done to sort of get more women involved in the sport?
Yeah, well, I definitely think the women division is growing, which is great. The way we can get more women into it just by training, I guess, like getting them to the gyms, having a few sessions and then just building up from that, just kind of like I did. I never intended to become a professional fighter.
Yeah.
I joined the gym for fitness reasons and one thing led to another. Now I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, just basically starting the training, starting off nice and slow. And I feel like once you start this sport, once you start the training, everyone just gets so hooked in it because I coach as well outside of my own training.
Yep.
And I just see people have the first session with me and then they absolutely love it and they're just back for more every day. So it's great.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Lisa, fighting for Hex, it's I think it's wonderful that people from Hex, athletes from Hex are now being considered for UFC call-ups because for a good while there, it was only really Eternal that was getting, that was feeding athletes and fighters into the UFC. So I think that's really wonderful that Hex has sort of opened that door for you guys at a time where Eternal sort of dominates the landscape. How have you found fighting for Hex and being a part of it and everything? And how have you found them as an organization?
Oh, Hex is absolutely amazing. Like, the way they look after their athletes is absolutely spot on. And they're just such a good show. Like, the guys that have just taken over now and they're running the show so amazing. Like, I absolutely love fighting on Hex. And I'm really grateful to have gotten the chance to fight for the belt on there and be the first female to actually win a belt on their show. But yeah, they're an absolutely great show. They're one of the best in Australia, like, if not the best. So, yeah, really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So look, Lisa, last one from us. We don't want to keep you too long. It's a really nice day down here in Australia. But look, you had quite an extensive amateur career, which I always think is a benefit to fighters. Whilst, there would be countless lessons that you took from your amateur career, what's one particular thing that you learned in your amateur career that you think was pivotal for developing and improving as a martial artist?
That I'm not invincible.
Yeah.
So I remember my first ever amateur fight, I ended up TKOing the girl in the second round. After that, I thought I was just the best. I thought there's no stopping me. Yeah. So my second fight, I went in there just thinking, I'm just going to knock her out.
Yeah.
I ended up getting it. And honestly, that was probably my greatest lessons. Like, I'm not invincible. These girls are just as tough as me. There's two people in there fighting, so... as I said, there was many lessons, but that was probably one of my main ones. And just learning to be content and calm because I used to be quite scrappy and quite wild in there.
Yeah.
And my coach was like, you need to chill out and
Yeah.
go my way all the time. So I've definitely learned to be more calm and content as well, which has helped me obviously. So that's been a big lesson to me for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you giving us some time. Wishing you all the best for your next fight and all your preparation leading into that. And, I know speaking for both of us, we can't wait to see you on that international stage. So all the best, Lisa. We'd love to chat to you again in future.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
problem.
Thank you,
Lisa.